Рынок информационной безопасности устроен таким образом, что есть вендор.
Information security market consists of the vendors, like positive technologies. Then we have distributors. After distributors, we have partners. And after partners, we have end client that receives products and services. And this dual level model is a typical IT market model on the global arena. And right now I'm going to talk to representatives of distributors. And we're going to speak about how the distribution market works today and how was it influenced by those events which happened to all of us. I'm visited by Dmitry Kranenko, the head of the Information Security Department from Fortis distributor, and Nadezhda Chilintseva, director from Network and Telecommunications Marvel Distribution. Hello. Hello. We did have a lot of changes in the market, especially recently. Can you share your experience? How do you feel yourselves in your realities? Are there any big changes that you see due to current situation? And are distributors influenced by the situation? Of course. We can say that situation has changed for everybody. It has changed for the country in general, and distributors were the first ones to face financial logistical difficulties and felt this first impact of sanction story. In addition to that, distributors were in shadow previously, but we are the foundation of the IT market. We sell to the IT security market, and we are a basic element of the availability and distribution of technologies. So in principle, IT market was formed, well, 70% it was formed by import of technologies to distributors. So everything which is related to imports. Right now, due to well-known reasons, we do have certain difficulties related with imports. So after taking this first impact against ourselves, we did find a way on how can we cope with this problem. And perhaps end clients and partners, they feel that. But speaking about specific changes, number one, that most of the vendors have formulated their position, especially Western vendors, and I'm speaking about Western story, foreign companies. They have formulated their position. Some of them stay in new conditions, some of them leave the market or maybe halted their activities. Those who stayed in the market, they've introduced new rules, prepayment, the absence of delays, and story number two is export control. This is a very interesting factor because we see limitations every day, and it influences the periods of supplies because we have to look at a lot of different sanctions. And these changes are happening every day, and this influences the speed of realization of the order. Previously, if we speak about software programs, it may reach a month or even more. So this is a common trend, and if you will bring it to the result, it's a prepayment story, increase of the deadlines for the order execution, and factor number three, reorientation to domestic software products, hardware products, networking equipment. Well, we're going to speak about it in more detail. Marvel. How does Marvel fail in a current moment of time? Well, it's not the first year that brings challenges to us. If you will remember 2020, we had a pandemics, we felt that everything's bad, but we've survived. We were able to withstand. We have increased the growth rates. We've grown faster than it was planned. Then it was the year 2021 when we did have problems with component supplies, deficiency of microchips on the market, delivery deadlines were moving from 7-8 months to 7-8 weeks to 7-8 months. We thought it cannot be worse.
Кричали, может. Начался 20.
But optimists said that it could be worse.
Случился.
In the beginning of 21, nothing.
Сейчас мы сидим и думаем,
And right now, February has happened, and we are thinking, well, let's go back to 2020, when everything was understandable.
как Дмитрий уже отметил,
And like Dmitry said, distributors felt it. They were the first one to feel this impact.
партнерами, таким образом,
We've built our partnership work that they trust us, and they trust.
мнению, они ждут от нас каких-то действий. Сейчас
They expect certain actions from us, and right now partners are on the market.
и
They are on this market, and they are telling us, can you offer something to us? Tell us what can be offered, what can be delivered, and we are going to do that. And our main objective right now, in shortest period of time, we need to rebuild all our internal processes. We have to rebuild our delivery channels. We have to reorient
другие рынки,
ourselves to other markets, especially Russian market, and we need to offer solutions which can be delivered,
которые мы сможем
and most importantly, solutions for which we can be responsible. These can be good quality solutions. Well, right now, we have an objective to rebuild everything as fast as possible. And basically speaking, distributors, and why do I speak about market foundation? Because only distributor can guarantee some supply, logistical services, reliability, because everybody got used to that. Well, the partners received the delay, it's been broadcasted to the clients, and this situation, if you want to bring it into a normal line, you should find not only domestic manufacturers, but you need to find some suppliers from friendly countries like China, new production like India, maybe Brazil,
Есть некоторые
and they do have certain information security solutions, maybe some unique niche solutions.
точно сказал, что не стоит
So I would precisely say that you shouldn't forget about imports completely.
и поддерживать
You shouldn't discount it.
появляются
We need to support new developers which come to Russian market. Well, according to your estimates, which volume of your business approximately
Вот это текущая ситуация.
affects this current situation?
Ну, смотрите, я бы
Well, let's see.
вопрос ответил. Это
I would answer this question in the following way.
следующих факторов. Вот,
It depends on the following factors. Speaking about distributors, what was the product portfolio? What was its orientation?
2014
And how, after year 2014,
дистрибьютор.
was this portfolio diversified by the distributor, by some local solutions? What is the geography of the presence and product portfolio? How well is it balanced? Well, does it depend on the distributor's profile? Yes, it depends on every distributor. For example, if distributor was software oriented, yes. If hardware and services, that's totally different. Informational security or graphics or any other solutions, we need to look at the specialization. If you look at the IT security, then our portfolio was selected on the basis of well, American technologies are the second term. The first term is domestic and Israeli solutions, because Israel is a very neutral country and many have stayed with us and continue working with us. That's why we have survived it.
Где мы потеряли, вот, мы приобрели
And in those places where we have lost, we have gained in domestic solutions. And this is the current situation.
я, наверное, с своей стороны могу сказать,
Well, from my side, I can say that sales plans, speaking about the year 2020, 21, 22, nobody has been reviewing our sales program. We are not changing our sales programs. And from our side,
мы не меняем.
colleagues are waiting, but we are not changing anything. We have planned growth. We will provide this growth. Which vendors? That's a totally different question. This is our goal. Well, this is the most interesting part. Let's speak about that, because this is wonderful that your sales plans are not changing, and it tells us that corporate Management assess for possibilities of fast adaptation to new market situation. But how?
Чего вы планируете?
How do you plan to keep these numbers? Well, I'm going to tell you about ourselves because we do not work in the information security market. I work in networking department, which includes the information security as well.
24 февраля у меня в
Before 24th of February, in the portfolio of my department, I had 65 vendors.
апреля из тех, кто
As of 1st of April, those who have stopped their work, and we understand what does it mean they stopped the work. It means that manufacturer is not going to come back, but will come back in totally different conditions to the market. So I have 29 working vendors. It was as of April 1st, less than half. Yeah, less than half stayed. More than half left the market. By May 1st,
подписанных контрактов, либо контрактов
I already have contracts signed or in work on the level of 66, 67 contracts. So in the course of 2 months,
мы смогли,
Количество
мы
контрактов
смогли
we were able to sign contracts with Chinese, Indian, South Korea manufacturers, Israeli manufacturers, some Russian manufacturers. In addition to that, we have our own brands in Marvel. Plus, this brand has increased its portfolio, so the process cannot be stopped.
контракты.
And we have approximately 20 contracts upcoming.
такой
Well, from this point of view, I would like to show a small optimism because one thing is to sign a contract, and the second one is to build new financial logistical paths.
появляется много, допустим, с материкового Китая производителей
Because we see a lot of manufacturers of server equipment coming from China, and it's a problem number one for the IT market
безопасности, потому что
and for the security market because they also depend on these.
вот.
So, in order to check that we will be able to deliver these products for the needs of the market, the server equipment, because we do have new contracts,
Гарантировать не можем. Мы должны проверить это. Вот. На
we have to check this equipment.
это уйдет примерно полгода. Вот. Чтобы точно
And it will take at least 6 months
выполнять
in order to say that vendor keeps to its promises.
Уже едет оборудование.
Our equipment is being delivered through these contracts. The only thing, service is not my department, it's a neighboring department, and I know that there are certain difficulties with servers. As for our service, we manufacture our own service.
Вы же их собираете все равно на базе.
But you still assemble them. Yes, we assemble them not on American CPUs. We can assemble them with the use of Chinese CPUs. Second of all, we can assemble them on CPUs which are delivered to Russia by parallel import.
вот. А касательно,
Parallel imports is a very thin matter.
я бы сказал, что ну,
And as for processed CPUs,
конечно, но мир очень интеллозависимый. Вот.
Нет,
but the world is Intel dependent. Well, definitely. And we cannot avoid that.
Ой, давайте
And we have to learn how to work with this. Okay, let's speak about hardware and parallel world.
какие-то области в
Do you see any areas in a hardware supply
закрытые,
which cannot be closed by foreign players and there are no alternatives with other ones, servers?
проблемная ситуация. И, возможно, еще ноутбуки.
It's a problematic situation and also notebooks
можем закрыть.
Коммутация.
and which things can be closed.
Коммутация оборудования.
Networking equipment is easily closed, like routers, switches, switchboards, and other things. So this is easily covered by us. And when we started communicating with Chinese manufacturers, we have discovered that most of our traditional Western vendors
Китайских производителей и
are based on Chinese vendors, and they've been selling them under their brand. So right now it happens that originals will be delivered to Russia. So Western vendors, they put in their own hardware. No, they order from Chinese
железки.
manufacturers their own hardware, which has been manufactured with labels of those companies which order.
Да, да.
But you buy directly from them. Yes.
Похожий пример, когда ты приходишь покупать, слушайте, дайте мне воздушный...
In a car, there's a possibility. And I come to them and say, can you sell me air filter? And they say, do you need original from your brand or from the manufacturer which makes this filter for your brand? And the difference can be 2 times.
Сталкиваемся.
And this is the situation that we face today. UPS, uninterrupted power sources, they also can easily be replaced. And biggest player on this market in Russia have stopped the manufacturer. They have halted, and some of them already selling their factories. When they started searching for manufacturers in China, they found some of them, and we've discovered that once again many of those manufacturers have been delivering the batteries for well-known Italian brands. Well, what about Chinese?
на сотрудничество.
Do they easily cooperate with us? Yes, yes, they easily cooperate. For China, inside of China,
Задача
there's an objective of taking Russian market as much as possible, and biggest Chinese banks give discount loans for the companies that open business in Russia.
Дополнил, что
And we'd like to add to this that there are different different Chinas. There's also Taiwan, small technological island, with which we do have certain difficulties, without any doubts. So generally speaking,
это будет влиять. Вот.
it's going to influence the situation. And as we've been speaking about it previously, the server capacities are limited, and it will influence other industries. And we will try to solve this problem.
Говорить про параллель.
Well, speaking about parallel imports,
Развита ли эта модель поставки?
do you see this equipment delivery model being well developed in our country? And do you think that it's going to grow, or maybe it's going to reduce in the nearest future? Well, right now it's underdeveloped.
Вы знаете, да, что сам
You know that the
проект закона был где-то
law draft was in the end of April, and the law was adopted May 6th.
в настоящий момент только
And right now,
до этого параллельного импорта не было. Мы
we didn't have parallel imports.
классические дистрибуторы
And as traditional distributor, we've been delivering only that equipment that was permitted on our territory and with the permission of those vendors which are present here. So from this point of view,
серый или какой-то рынок, это вот все осталось в 90-х
this
годах.
gray market stayed in the beginning of 2000s. Right now, market was really civilized.
Начало
So we're going to go back to the beginning of 2000s, and we're going to build this as well.
России, для России
Well, for Russia, for Russian legislation, it's not going to be a gray market. For Russia, it's not going to be a gray market because we are following Russian legislation. So it's going to be,
признано для других
well, this equipment will be on the territory of the vendor. But for the Russian legislation, we do not violate Russian legislation. We imported it officially, we pay all the taxes. So from this point of view,
сожалению, легче.
there is not going to be green peas,
Такой
я бы
серый...
unfortunately.
Теоретически, к сожалению, возможно, для тех, кто
Unfortunately, for those who wanted to get cheaper equipment, well, it's not going to happen.
Добавил то, что параллель
Well, I would like to add here that parallel import, especially in the conditions of physical supply of the product, but if distributor is involved in high-tech products, it's not enough just to deliver the server
комплекса есть
and hardware software complex, and there is a software part which can also be limited in the work, especially remote work. So there could be different limitations. So parallel import is not a salvation.
вообще сейчас мера, которую нужно очень аккуратно.
So the measures which have to be approached carefully,
Интеллектуальные права и
because intellectual rights and reliability of transferring these intellectual rights have been built in the Russian market for quite a while.
в этом отношении. Вот, поэтому
Right now we have civilized approach from this point of view, so we don't need to destroy it.
наверное, другим людям, вот,
Well, it should be solved by some other people, but I would like to go back to domestic manufacturers, especially in the area of security.
в принципе,
Things that we see big impulse given to the distributor and market, it's reorientation to domestic one, the laws.
инфраструктуры должны быть отечественные вендоры. Здесь, конечно, вот, ну, как бы помимо там, скажем, условно каких-то
So, in addition to some negative factors,
не до конца понятных, как
or not completely understandable ones, how imports, there are positive factors that many clients
Это приведет к развитию.
they have to buy domestic.
Отечественным нужно
And of course, as for the domestic manufacturers, they have to communicate closer with distributors because success is not only in the administrative, well, you have to buy this and you go and buy this, but clients, they are used to a certain quality of the products. Partners, they are used to conditions in partnership program and success in combination with administrative regulation, but also with a number of other factors. Good quality products, good quality partnership programs, availability of technical support.
не только про логистику.
Because distributor is not just about logistics, but it's also about providing additional services like demo warehouse, marketing, wide proliferation of technologies in the channel, not only the largest ones, but also the medium level, lower tier clients, according to your assessment, Dmitry.
Кибербезопасности
As for cybersecurity,
наших российских продуктов и сервисов.
Russian products and services, are they sufficient? Or maybe we have some niches which are not covered by them, and we need Western vendors. Well, I think that in the world there are three schools of information security: American, Soviet, and Russian.
Везде есть свои нюансы, вот,
There are certain peculiarities everywhere. Speaking for
закрытых, вот. Но есть там
domestic security school, many niches have been closed. But if you look at the market generally, well, speaking about the new things which our company was involved into, we've been delivering something that's going to be popular in 2-3 years, what's going to be developing for what we are going to see demand. And from this point of view, there are certain gaps available which can easily be replenished. And this can be used by developers. They can look at different systems.
написать этот
And
еще развивающиеся продукты, их можно
this is a well-developing product, so you can catch up with them and be advanced in this area. But the main difficulty is on the UTM device market, because we have a limited number of manufacturers of software and hardware complexes plus software. Well, this model
развиться вот, в ближайшие годы.
is a model that will develop in the nearest future. So speaking about cybersecurity, everything's okay about cybersecurity, yes. On the basic level, everything's all right. But if you will compare to some other things, if you will compare to general IT market,
Или там
like operation system or virtualization networks, then of course there are certain overbands. Well, this overband is not so strong in some classes and subsystems. Some things are not available, but there is a number of solutions which cover big number, like 70% of total security demand on the side of the end clients.
С другой, скажем так,
We have faced another peculiarity or challenge.
до 24 февраля в портфель
Before February 24, we had only foreign manufacturers in our portfolio. Russian manufacturers have been available, but only at the initial stage of signing. And when we started rebuilding the portfolio in the direction of Russian manufacturers, we have discovered an interesting moment. In order to replace one foreign
тройки по информационной
developer from the first three tiers of informational security, you need 5 or 6 Russian manufacturers
безопасности весь
to cover the whole portfolio completely. The breadth of the portfolio is much narrow.
может быть не проблема, а
So maybe it's not a problem, but a challenge or a limitation inside of Russian manufacturers. And from my point of view, it's in their interests to remove and add this.
у каждого
So these products are not bad. Every Russian manufacturer has 3, 4, maybe 5
продуктов
good products.
поставляют на рынок.
Products which are being delivered by them to the market. So if they will increase this portfolio, if they will improve their other products, then it's going to be much simpler and better for them and consumers. Okay, let's draw a line.
С российской кибербезопасностью
Speaking about Russian cybersecurity, everything's okay about it, but what is important, it's important that vendors should have at least 4 or 5 products in order to cover all the areas.
Развивать такой
Yes, we have to develop the complex approach to cybersecurity. So the vendor with a number of products, with number more than 5 products in their portfolio,
программа.
good quality partnership program should be available, technical support, commercial conditions.
Дружественные рынки
than friendly markets from the point of view of product supplies and
железа и софта — это
hardware and software. What can we look at? China, India.
Сервером, а по программным
China is for service. And speaking about service, Brazil, India,
Израиль.
and Israel.
Ага.
Israel, yes, Israel as well.
И вот эта проблема с поставками
And this problem with hardware supply is related to only some hardware. These are laptops and servers.
Проблемная часть.
да, совсем
Yeah, this is a problematic part.
есть возможности замещения
But there are possibilities of replacement by Chinese manufacturers, and it's very fast. Well, the agreements are being signed with them, like with Marvel,
я думаю,
and the situation is much worse, as I understand. You will say that sales plans are 5 times smaller,
сохраняет их, Fortis пересматривает.
and Marvel reviews them. Well, I wish you.
сейчас ну, нужно сдержанный оптимизм проявлять вообще.
We should keep kind of retained optimism, and we have to search for the whole market. We need to find solutions for the whole market.
Хорошо, спасибо большое за интересный разговор. Мы беседуем
Well, thank you very much for interesting conversation. We've been speaking to Nadezhda Pchelintseva, Director of Network and Telecommunication in Marvel Distribution, and Dmitry Koronenko, the Head of the Informational Security in Fortis. How the distribution market works today in our new realities, and what are we going to expect by the end of this year.